let us discuss what is public good. Public good is a good which has these two characteristics: non-rivalry and non-excludability. Now, what does non-rivalry means? Non-rivalry in consumption means if you consume a amount of public good, then it does not imply that you are reducing the amount available of this public good for another person. Means if even if you consume this good, you are not reducing the amount of this public good available for the other persons. Okay, so this is what non-rivalry means. Then what does non-excludability means? Non-excludability means that even if you pay for a public good, you cannot exclude others from consuming it. Means you can pay for the good, okay, that does not mean that the utility will flow towards you only. The utility of good is loyal to you only. It does not mean that you may pay for the good, you can enjoy the good, but others can also enjoy the good without paying it. So you cannot exclude others from consuming it by paying a price of this commodity. Okay, so these are the main features of public good. These two are the main features of public good. And in case of public good, another thing is important: the benefit curve or the demand curve is obtained by vertical summation, okay. And another thing is that the public good can be consumed collectively. By everyone at the same time. Say the example of public good may be a lighthouse. Okay. Now, a lighthouse, the light of that lighthouse can be consumed by many ships around it. Okay. So it can be collectively consumed, and at the same time many ships can consume it. The utility of that lighthouse can be consumed by innumerable ships around it at the same time. Then for public good, the government has to make budgetary provision. See, public good is a good which has the characteristic of non-excludability. Means even if you pay the price, that does not mean that you can restrict other from consuming it. So it is, even you will not be motivated to pay the price, because you will feel that I am paying the price, but others are becoming a free rider and they are enjoying it by not paying anything. Okay, basically they are enjoying it for free, and why should I pay them? So you will, by seeing this, you will also become a free rider. So no one wants to pay for the public good. Okay, so if no one wants to pay for the public good, then what the producer will earn? What will be the use of this production of public good by a private hand? So private individual restrict or refrain themselves from producing a public good. Okay, so it is the government who has to come into the picture and decide how much of public good should be produced. Okay, so budgetary provision are made by the government for providing public good. Okay, the number 5th point will be budgetary provision are made by the government for the production of public good. Okay, so I guess these things are clear to you. Now we will discuss how the optimum amount of public good can be determined. The amount of public good. Now the equilibrium in case of public good arises when the marginal benefit curve of the society intersects the marginal cost curve of the public good. Okay, so this is the equilibrium condition. Quantity of public good, this is the benefit curves and costs. Now suppose this is the marginal benefit curve of a individual A, okay, and this is the marginal benefit curve of individual B. A marginal benefit curve of B. Now if there are only two individuals in the market, then the market demand curve for this public good will be the summation of these two individual demand curves. Benefit curves are basically demand curves. Okay, why they are negative sloping? Because as we go on increasing the quantity, or as we go on consuming more and more amount of the quantity, the marginal utility goes on falling. Okay, so initially when we were consuming this amount of item, our marginal utility from the consumption of the first unit was this, second was this. So basically the negative slope of the benefit curve or the demand curve is due to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, so this is the marginal benefit curve or the demand curve of A, marginal benefit curve of B, that is the demand curve of B, and the demand curve of market will be derived by the vertical summation of these two units. Okay, means just add this part, this gap with this gap, you will get the market demand. So this is the marginal benefit curve of the society, the topmost demand curve. Okay, so now what do we need? Another curve we need is that marginal cost curve of the public good. Now if we assume that the cost curve or the marginal cost of producing the public good is constant, or and therefore it is shown by a horizontal line parallel to x-axis. So what does this marginal cost curve means? It means that the marginal cost of producing a public good is constant and therefore it is parallel to the x-axis. And where does the equilibrium lies? It will lie over here, where the marginal benefit curve of the society, that is the demand curve of the society, just as the marginal cost curve. So this will be the equilibrium of the public good, and corresponding to this level of equilibrium, what amount of public good is produced? OQ star amount of public good is produced. Okay. So according to this diagram, this is the optimum level of public good, and if this amount of public good is produced, then individual A should pay OPA amount of price and individual B should produce or should pay OPB amount of price. Okay. Now this guy, individual A should pay price A, OPA amount of price based upon his demand curve, and individual B should pay OB amount of price based on his demand curve. If the producer is willing to cover his cost of production. If the public good is provided by a private hand, then obviously the private investor or the producer will have to cover his production cost. Otherwise, why will he be willing to supply it in the market? So in order to cover the production cost, this is the production cost of the private hand. Now among uh, among these private production cost, in order to cover this production cost, he should collect OPA amount of price from A and OPB amount of price from B. Only then he will be able to collect this production cost. However, in case of public good, what happens is that if if individual A pays the price, individual B will tend to become a free rider. Okay, or none of them will pay the price, because public good can be attained or can be enjoyed without paying any price by being a free rider. So the producer, if the public good is supplied by a private hand, the producer won't be able to cover the cost of production, and as because no one is willing to pay. Okay, they're supposed to pay this much, but they won't be paying. Okay, and in this circumstance, the producer will run into losses, and therefore he won't produce this OQ star amount of the output. Okay, so in this case, the government has to come into the picture and produce this OQ star amount of output of public good. Okay, so this is how we determine the optimum level of the public good. And then we will move to what is private good. The concept of private good is contrary to the concept of public good. For private good, you can charge a price. Price can be accepted. Price can be fixed. Okay. Number 2, for private good, you can exclude other exclusion principle works for private good. Rivalry principle works. Okay, so private good is a good whose benefit flows to the person who pays for it, and it cannot be enjoyed by someone else who is not paying for it. So private good is basically directed, the utility of the good is directed towards the person who is paying for it. Okay, and that person can exclude others by paying a price for the public good. And rivalry means that if we consume a private good, we are reducing the amount of this good available for the other persons. Okay, and the optimum amount of this private good is determined by the free play of market. Okay, now what is the free play of market? We will show it using a diagram. The optimum amount of private good is determined by intersection of marginal benefit curve and marginal cost curve, okay, associated with the production of the private good. Now benefit and cost quantity. Now this is the cost curve of producing a private good, marginal cost curve. It is a positive sloping curve, means as we go on increasing the output, the cost of producing the additional amount of output increases, and the benefit curve is shown by this negative sloping line, marginal benefit curve. Basically this is the demand curve and this is the supply curve, and the intersection point determines the equilibrium level of the private good, that is OQ star, and it is supplied in the market at the price level OK star. Okay. However, the equilibrium amount of private good that is determined over here may face some abnormality. Sometimes the market may fail to produce the efficient level of the private good. Sometimes it may go for overproduction or it may go for underproduction. Sometimes it may face underconsumption, sometimes it may face overconsumption. Okay, so there are four basic abnormalities: under and overproduction, under and overconsumption. Now this under and overproduction and under and overconsumption may occur due to the existence of externalities, positive externality as well as negative externality. And externality can be of production nature and can also be for consumption. Okay, so depending upon the nature of externalities, there may be some abnormalities, and in order to fix those abnormalities, we have to resort to the taxation or subsidy solution, that is the Pigovian solution, or sometimes we can also go for the Coase theorem solution. Suppose here in this case the marginal cost of private and the marginal cost of the society was equal. We were considering it to be equal, and marginal benefit of the private is equal to the marginal benefit of the society. Okay, so over here the cost and benefit curve of the private and society merged, and therefore there was no problem. This cost and benefit curve merged together because there was no externalities. However, every time this may not happen. Sometimes the cost curve and the benefit curves may be different. Suppose in case of negative production externality, okay, negative production externality, the private cost and the social cost may be different. Now this is the marginal cost of the private, okay, and the marginal cost of the society is this. So the equilibrium of the society is lying at this point, okay, and the equilibrium amount of output desired by the society is this. So over here what we are witnessing overproduction. The producer is producing O star P amount of output, whereas the society is desiring a output of O Q star amount. So over here we are witnessing a case of overproduction, and this overproduction is due to the presence of negative externality. Suppose the amount produced by the producer is OQ star or Q star P, and the production of this product is emitting pollution or is having a harmful effect upon the society. So society is desiring a lesser amount of this commodity. So obviously there is a divergence between the optimum output level of the producer and the optimum output level of the society, and this amount is showing you basically the amount of overproduction, and this overproduction is due to the presence of negative externality or negative external cost of production, and the negative external cost of production is equal to the size AE. So the negative external cost is equal to the size AE, and due to the presence of this marginal external cost of AE size, we are witnessing a case of overproduction, where the social optimum is different from the private optimum. Now in order to fix this, or in order to reduce the production, obviously we will move towards the socially desirable output. We won't move towards the private desirable output. We have to move towards this side. Okay, so we have to reduce the production. How to reduce the production? Just impose tax upon the private hand. So what will happen? His cost of production, marginal cost of production will move up. will increase and it will merge with marginal cost of the society. So this individual will now have a equilibrium at ES point, that is the private equilibrium point will match with the social equilibrium point, and instead of producing OQ star P amount, he will now produce OQ star S amount. So imposing a tax rate of, so the marginal external cost was this AE star, okay, AE, and we thus have to impose a tax or a unit tax of AE amount. So we have to impose a tax equal to the size of marginal external cost in order to bring the market towards equilibrium, okay, social equilibrium. So we had market failure in this situation. So in order to remove the market failure, we have to impose taxation. Okay. Sometimes the externalities may be of positive nature. In that case, we will go for subsidy. Okay, in order to remove the market failure.